Hi everybody, welcome back to I was sick and fell down the stairs, so I didn't want to record any videos. I'm Del Salvador and this is Strapping Young Lad City. Now, SYL is a metal band that not quite sure how to put a genre to it. It's kind of a lot of things, and it's also its own unique things. But the most, usually what I see it described as death metal and industrial. And part of why it sounds so unique and what sort of categorize and what gives it its unique sound is mostly the production, which is mostly attributed to Devin Townsend. If you don't know who that is, he has his own stuff called the Devin Townsend Project or Devin Townsend or whatever. And usually people hear of SYL or of his solo stuff and not hear the other. So chances are you either know that and don't know this, or the other way around. Anyways, Devin Townsend is a phenomenal vocalist, and his production styles are usually very wall of sound esque, as in it's very wall of sound. It's just how the production is, and this album is not heavy because there's a lot going on, like something like Mars Volta or Lamb of God. It's not necessarily fast like Metallica or Megadeth or even Dragon Force. It's not that it's menacing per se, like just a lot like some any minor key stuff like certain Black Sabbath songs and such. It's more so everything, and plus Devin's own stuff like his production style and just his vocals. And what this album has a lot of is with the wall of sound production and the riffs specifically, they're very simple and very rhythmic, and that's why they hit so hard. And Devin's voice is again amazing, and all these things kind of combine into this just pure raw emotion. And with a lot of the lyrical subject matter, you can tell a lot of this is just him venting and him just like expressing all these things he's going through, and there's a lot of them things. And so the album starts with Velvet Kevorkian, or how do you pronounce that? I'm not really sure. And this is one of this it the industrialness you can hear off the bat, for this metal clanking that starts off the album like a metronome would. And death metal again is laced throughout the entire album, but with the Devin kind of twist and with his vocal stuff and all that kind of stuff. And it's a good opener track. It sets the stage. It's very grandiose. Then all hail the new flesh kicks in the second track, and the album kicks in. And a part also why this album is so incredibly heavy, and I think some of the heaviest stuff I've ever heard. And I've listened to a lot of metal, a lot of it, mostly all of it, kind of, is the drummer. He is basically, people call him the atomic clock all the time because his timing and his speed. And he's also a big reason why this album has its sound. And next track, Oh My Fucking God, which is the name of the track, is a climax. Most albums kind of start low and kind of progressively get higher with some peaks and valleys. This album is the opposite, where it starts and just comes out full force and does not let up until near the end, where it kind of calms down or so. And this is not a climax where it plateaus like most climaxes do. It's more so it's chaotic. There's still identifiable riffs and things. It's just that like near the end more, it just gets muffled. There's so much happening and it's going so fast, and the production is so muffled that it just comes across very chaotic. And the lyrics on this track are also really, really, really well written if you understand them, and kind of go over a lot of this I was talking about earlier, where you're just going through a lot of things. And this is one of those tracks. And he basically talks about how when you're famous and stuff and doing these shows and things, all those people who are coming to see you, all those thousands of people, maybe millions, maybe a couple hundred, whatever, is very different from people in your real life, and people can still be lonely, have depression from loneliness and isolation when they have all these people around them. This is not the same. It's not like an actual connection. And I think that's kind of what Chester Bennington or I forget his last name exactly, but from the vocals from Linkin Park, that's part of what it was, I think, is that extreme disconnect. And the next track, Detox, talks a lot more about that. And Detox is a good calm down. Not that it's a calm song, it's still really, really heavy. The pace is still going through the entire album, and every track leads into one another as well. It's just that it's more commercial in a sense that, it's less chaotic, it's, just the riffs are identifiable, all that kind of stuff. And it's more accessible, not commercial. And basically, same thing, he talks about, and the melody's more defined too, also comes up, that also is part of it. And a lot of the lyrics point to this, to himself, what he's feeling, more of the situation exactly. Like, I'm no good around people, everybody knows and watches me, how did I get here, what am I doing here, everyone's watching, God, I'm so lonely. The next track, Home Nucleonics, I think, again, weird word, picks up again, not the exact same intensity as Oh My Fucking God, but pretty close. So we get some low growls we don't really hear much of from Devin at all. We usually hear him on the higher end of his vocal range, and it's pretty damn high, and sounds really good. We just never get that often these really low growling vocals from him. The next track, AAA or AAA, whatever, it's 3 capital A's, whatever, this is the first actual calm down. And this album kind of, not album, this track, I wouldn't say is funky, but it's very, very rhythmic. And there's a lot of boom boom, so to speak, like, that are a very nice touch and actually vocalize, like boom boom and lyrics or whatever. He's clearly referring to something from his childhood. I wouldn't know what exactly. I should have read about that, but there's something, he's referencing about something. He says something about his teen years, etc., etc. Next track, Underneath the Waves, picks up again. More low growls, and this track you can clearly tell in his vocals how stressed out he is and how just he's kind of at his limit, so to speak. A lot of lyrics, like, tired of waiting, tired of fighting, tired of waiting for fucking nothing, sick of lying, sick of crying, all that kind of stuff. And actually, right after they say that, which is the chorus, which is very soaring, by the way, it's very nice, you get this panning effect in the headphones that kind of acts like a rhythm, and it's really cool. And then we have the second last track is actually a cover from Shoot Cop, and it's the song Room 409, and it's very 80s sounding, especially in the synths. And covers can be done for a number of reasons, whether it be if you like the song or promotion, whatever, but one of those reasons can be is you just relate to that track a lot, kind of like Johnny Cash with 9 Inch Nails' song Hurt, just that relation to it. And if I were to assume, I would feel like that's what this is, because the song kind of goes over, feeling trapped, all those kinds of things, and every direction kind of goes to nothing. And we get some nice aggressive but not growling low singing, and I quite like Devin Townsend when he's doing these vocals. I wish I'd hear more of this, but I really don't. And the last track, Spirituality, very good closer, big sound, very slow, almost uplifting in a way, and it's very spacious. And this is probably the best closer it could have gotten with this album. And I think this is not only Strapping Young Lad's best record, but I would also say it's one of the better metal records out there, period. Like, full stop, bar none, I would say. And that's about it, I guess. So yeah, there's not really much else to say. kind of losing my train of thought here. But this album's really good. Every single song on this album slaps. It really does. The only complaint I'd probably say is that the cover kind of does not fit exactly. It does a good job at what it does. And what it does is it serves as the setup for the climax, or for the last track. It's kind of like in movies where like they have like the hero kind of gets up and kind of remembers what he's fighting for. It's that kind of feel. It's that setup for the climax, which is again the ending track. And I think that's about it. Almost coughed. So yeah, I'll end it here. No one else to say. I'd probably give this out. God, I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah, I'll probably give this album like 9 out of 10. Sure, that's good enough.